All right, thank you guys for coming. Let's go over the markets here, kind of talk about what we're seeing. One moment. All right. So had a long weekend this weekend. So gonna keep it short and simple. Gonna cover what I think is important in market right now, and then we'll kind of go from there. Okay. So if you guys have stocks you want me to look over, put those in the chat. We can go over those. But all right. So starting off with the indexes, first things first. You can see we kind of have this bull flag pattern forming on that's or SPY. And then from there, you can kind of see that we had this fire off. Whoop, make sure you're not drawing on the screen. I don't know how to delete that. But basically what we saw first was this squeeze forming, and then we actually fired off on Friday. So automatically I have to be thinking, okay, we may be seeing some more upside. So you can see second. If the okay. All right, guys, sorry about that. We had to make sure, or I got a message that the link wasn't working, so I posted another one. But okay. So first things first, you can see here, SPY, see on the daily, we had this 4-hour squeeze fire off, or daily squeeze just fire off on Friday. Normally, this is going to give us 6 to 10 bars of upside momentum. So initially, I have to think bullish. On top of that, the 4-hour chart, we had a 4-hour squeeze. We broke out to the upside, had a nice move up into 3 ATR on the 4-hour, and now are kind of just consolidating. Now, the next thing I'm going to be paying attention to, especially into tomorrow, is this 30-minute squeeze. So depending on how this works out, but when you look at the chart, you can kind of see here that we have a kind of this downtrend forming. We've got this trend line. Basically what I'm going to be looking for is a shift in momentum. This is very controlled selling. So I am looking for a break upside to kind of show continuation of this 4-hour and daily squeeze. So right now I'm expecting this week to be pretty quiet, but really on top of that, I'm just looking for continuation of upside until I get other triggers. So now on top of that, I'm also paying attention to the fact that if this does end up firing to the downside or showing me a bearish continuation, then I will look to play this to the downside. But right now, all the higher time frames are showing me bullish price action. So we have to lean on that side of it. And so, yeah, the main thing you want to watch going into this week is the first major move will probably come from this 30-minute squeeze. Now, it may not be major, but in terms of like a daily or intraday swing basis or overnight move, they can tend to be significant. Like this gap down here was a pretty significant gap down. And that came off the back of a 30-minute squeeze. So that's what you want to pay attention to. Same story for QQQ. Now, it's a little bit different because we have a daily squeeze and we pushed up into a new high, kind of sold off. But we still have a daily squeeze and it has yet to fire off on QQQ. So right now, what it looks like is we might be getting some sort of break and retest. So until that is proven valid, I think if you want a safety net line, I would look for really here as that line in the sand where you would kind of say, okay, this squeeze is not going to hold and continue higher, right? Because like if you look here, we have support here, support here. You could even go back down to here, and this is support. So really, maybe that line in the sand might be that 440 level. And you can use that as a level to kind of decide, okay, is this continuation not going to be to the upside? But as of right now, looks good. I do like the fact that QQQ is kind of coming and retesting the support. Now let's see if it holds. And then this makes me more want to lean on tech because tech has a little bit more room of upside in my opinion. And so I will be kind of leaning on some tech because also on top of that, there's a lot of names that look really good in the tech sector. Okay. So as for my watch list, kind of top one that I'm paying attention to right now is Amazon. And if you guys have things or stocks you want me to look over in the chat, I can certainly do that. Just put them in the chat in here and I can go over those charts. So that's kind of the indexes. IWM, this one's kind of just dead in the water. There's nothing really to do here just yet. Now, I say that, but I'm looking at this 4-hour squeeze. This may be something we want to look to play to the upside. This does look pretty good. So, yeah. So I like this here. So I'm going to be paying attention to the IWM 4-hour to see if we can get a squeeze to the upside. I do like this. I think it looks pretty good. So we'll keep an eye on that one for sure. And then, so main tickers that I'm watching going into this week, stocks that I am paying attention to. First is going to be Amazon. I think this one on a swing basis looks really good. I think we're primed to go to ultimately to 190. Now, I don't know how quickly that's going to happen, but we did have a earnings gap up, traded sideways, have continued to trade sideways, and now we are creating a daily squeeze. And it looks like we're having a little bit of a similar story as the NASDAQ. We're just a little bit stronger. So it looks like here we had a little a move up and then some consolidation. We had a break upside here and then a break and retest on Friday of this kind of resistance now turned to support. So I am looking for ultimately this 4-hour squeeze to fire to the upside, which is going to trigger this daily squeeze to fire off to the upside. Now I'm mainly looking for the break of 180, and then ultimately from there, I'm looking for us to move back into that all-time highs, which is 188.65. And so that's kind of what I'm paying attention to here. We go to the 30-minute time frame. Let's see what else we've got going on. We do have a 30-minute squeeze, and then we have that 4-hour, and then the daily. So I do really like this one for continuation upside. Now, this is one of the few names I've been kind of waiting for a while, since this gap up. I've been waiting for a while to kind of get an entry on this trade. And I think part of what I've been waiting on is because all these other names, Apple, Microsoft, uh, Meta, all of the Mag 7 besides Tesla have made a new 52-week high besides Tesla and Amazon. So I'm expecting Amazon to be the next one to do that. I have no interest in trading Tesla long due to the charts, but with Amazon, you can see the strength that it's continued to have. So I'm looking for a continuation to the upside. So that's the main thing I'm watching going into this week. Next, a few other names that look really good. Netflix, this one, beautiful strength. And a lot of this is coming from XLC. So XLC has had a daily squeeze. I've been talking about this for the past few weeks, and we finally fired off on Friday. We've started to make that move. We broke through that 81 price level, and now we're continuing higher. I think this is just a stone's throw away from all-time highs, and I think we're going to get there relatively soon. So that's kind of a big thing I'm watching now. To the main component of this, XLC, that sector is Meta. And so you can see here, Meta, we kind of formed like this triangle type pattern and broke out of that earlier this week. And now we're kind of trading higher and we're trading right around that $500 mark. So if we pull back to right around 500, I think it would be a solid entry for a long position and cut if we go back below that 21 EMA. But I think even right now, this is a solid opportunity to get long. You might be buying it a little high, so I would just size for zero and then ultimately look for that move back into new all-time highs. So that's Meta. I think that one looks excellent. And then Netflix. Another part of the communication sector, you can just see the strength. You guys know the pattern that I really like that I typically will watch, which is that gap up after earnings and kind of trade sideways to higher, and then it forms a daily squeeze. That's exactly what's happening. So this is kind of looking like it's just going to be a melt up into 650. So if you are familiar with the butterfly pattern, it might be wise to think about maybe trading or butterfly option strategy, looking to figure out a good time to enter that into looking for a pin at 650 within the next week or two. So I really do like this setup. I think there's a pretty good opportunity here to potentially go long. Now I've got an alert set here. I'm going to be taking a look at this if I can get a pullback into this level here right around 620 to take an entry and catch that move up into 450. I think that's the next key psychological level that we can kind of look for this to fulfill. A couple other names. So both of those are in XLC. XLC is performing really well. So I should mention to you with the strength in the sector, Google. This one here has a weekly squeeze. We've got histogram shifting. We've got a buy signal. We're right near all-time highs. So I think we hold above. You look for a lower time frame entry point and look for this one to continue up and make a move into all-time highs, but really up into that 160 level is that where I think it's going to head next. And then I think it can go much further than that. So keep an eye on this one. A lot of news, positive news has came out with this one. So I think there's a really good opportunity within the XLC sector. If these contracts or these stocks are too expensive for you to buy time and trade them appropriately, just go and trade XLC and trade the options through XLC. I think this sector overall is going to be in main focus here in the next few weeks, and like those top holding names, Meta, Amazon, or sorry, Meta, Google, and Netflix all look really good. So another one I'm really paying attention to here is Uber. You know that we played NQ. What is that? We played NQ, or sorry, we played Lyft for 250% or 275% last week. Now that had a really great move to the upside, and we ended up taking profits here. Now, I think that I would assume strength would continue. We entered here and it kind of drove up into here. Now I'm thinking that strength can probably continue into Uber, especially because this one is so much stronger than Lyft. Lyft had a is down significantly from its all-time highs, and Google is at all-time highs. We had a nice earnings report. We gapped up a few days later and now have traded sideways ever since. So I do think as long as we hold above that $80 level, we can easily push up into a new high and probably go to 85. So that's one that I'm keeping on my watch list. So that's, and then I'll give you one more. This is Eli Lilly. This one has continued to be a beast for a long time and has held a very strong uptrend. So what I'm looking on this one, what I'm looking for on this one is really nothing more. I potentially am going to enter into this tomorrow. We'll see how the market opens up. But I think this looks like a pretty solid bull flag and is looking for continuation back into 800 and possibly to break that. So I'm watching Eli Lilly. This is the ticker LLY, and that's all I've got for you guys right now. So I'll take a look at the tickers that you guys have posted. So Reddit, this one, there's not a lot of price action to base this off of. So I don't have too much opinion on this one. I think if it can hold below this low, it looks like basically opening range breakout is really the only way you could play this one. Been a ton of just inside candles and unable to break this. So if we can hold below this level here, then you could look for downside. Or just play the next 5-minute squeeze. But I would imagine it's probably going to it will continue to sell off. Yeah, you could probably short it. So I like it below this level in this 15-minute squeeze. This might actually be a pretty good short. But I won't be playing it personally. Spot, I have that one on my watch list. This one looks great. Daily squeeze. It's had very great strength as of recent. We're kind of heading up into resistance. We've got this key psych level at 300. So I do think that if you wanted to buy some time and look for this to head up into 300, I think that's a great opportunity, especially I don't know if it'll make it before earnings in May, but I think this will be a really solid opportunity to try that out as it will pay pretty well. I'm looking for a potential pullback on this one to enter in and look for continuation to the upside. So I do like this one. I like the strength. So what else you guys got? PF upside. PF. I don't know. I don't know what this is. The it looks like it has no volume. No, I would not be getting I would not look to play upside on this. Maybe you'll get a little bit of a relief bounce here at all-time lows, but ultimately I think it's just going to break. I would not be getting long this. I mean, what was once almost a $2 stock is now 27 cents. It's about 90% off its highs. No, I wouldn't be trading that to the upside. Find things that are in strong trends. Find things that have actual strength like this here. You can see clear uptrend. All you're doing, there's a higher probability of this continuing versus this stopping on a dime and turning around and going back. So no, I would not do that, or I would not look to play that long, in my opinion. Okay. This one looks good. Where's all-time highs? Yeah, all-time highs are up here. Yeah, this one looks good. DFS, Discover. Yep, this one looks good. I like the gap up. And the trading sideways after. We've got earnings at the end of next month. You could look to play a run into earnings. Yeah. Yep, this one looks good. VZ. Huh. I like this one. It's in a bull flag. So I would be looking for continuation. I would look for a rally in earnings. It's got pretty strong resistance right here at whatever level this is. That we may need to break before we can see further continuation. But as of right now, I think this one looks really good. Good looking bull flag, good looking pattern. Yeah, I like this one for upside. I would look for it to go tag this level again at about 42.70 and then look for a 52-week high breakout. Ball. It looks like it's breaking out of a longer term range. Like out of this here. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this chart. Looks good. I think it's just going to continue upside. It looks like it had a solid earnings report and has been getting bought up and repriced ever since. So I think that this one could probably have a continuation here. Looks good. I like the daily squeeze. All of it looks good. In the video. This one I like, looks good. You could chase it up here if you really wanted to make it back into that 52-week high. Ultimately, I'll be personally looking for an opportunity to get into this one to have a move into $1,000. I don't think this is going to have a significant pullback before it hits $1,000. So I'll be looking for an entry on this one for sure. I need to move that up higher on my watch list this week. So yeah, I like this one a lot. So yeah, I think NVIDIA is going to go to 1,000. So I do like upside on that one. Starbucks. Yeah, if this one can, it just looks like it's in a longer term range and it's kind of been trading sideways. And it seems like we're at kind of some key support. So I would expect it to get a little weird when it tries to dip into this like kind of box area here. I would expect price to get a little weird. But I do think well, based on how the chart looks, we could go revisit this 89 level, and it looks like it's trying to break 90 is what is going on. So if we break 90, expect that 89.27, and then from there, maybe we go visit the bottom of this range here, which would be right around 83. So this one definitely could flush. I think that one is a very valid short, good trend to the downside. So yeah, I like it. LTR. Hmm. It's got a lot of baggage to get through here. So a lot of overhead resistance right around here. So it's a little tough. I would look for it to break up here, but I would want to see some momentum to the upside to make me think that it's going to break there and go tag 30. Uh, but after that, yeah, it's just not ready yet. Setup's not ready. But I think it can see further upside. It's just not the best setup because you got a lot of crap here. That's kind of similar with what I was trying to say with Starbucks. There's just a lot of crap right here. Like a lot of people that got into positions here, it's all the way back down here. So like maybe they tried to short down here and now they're covering their shorts once it gets into here because they're at break even. I think that's why PLTR is having quite a time here to get past this because of just the baggage that's here. But that breaks, we head to 30, and then from there we've just got resistance at like 33.50, and then 40, and then from there new all-time highs. But yeah, this is now what I would suggest on this one is just wait till it gets through here, wait till it gets above this resistance here, and then look for the continuation because there's not much resistance left after that. Aim at Um, this one looks good. Semiconductors look strong. It's at an all-time high, which I really like that. You just need a little bit of a pullback, and I think it'd be good to enter somewhere right around in this area here. So I'll pull back into this right around here. I think 200 level is kind of your key psych level. So kind of pay attention if we're holding above that, if we're breaking below it, that can kind of be your signal. If it starts heading below these lows. So yeah, I think it looks good. JPM, I wouldn't try to chase this one. I'd wait for the next setup um, to trade this upside, but right now I would not be trying to chase. I do think it looks good for upside. Already went over NVIDIA, Twilio. Hmm. This one looks like a bear flag. And it looks like it's an ugly bear flag, but could be a pretty good short. I mean, we gapped down after earnings. Now we're trading sideways. Uh, and yeah, I think this one's a short. TVA. No, I did not talk about this one. Well, just to finish my thoughts on this one. You're just in a longer term range. So it's kind of ugly, kind of difficult to trade. So I would kind of steer away from this one because it's in a longer term range. You want to find something that's kind of trending more. So this one, I like this one a lot. I think we're going to see continuation. Now, um, you can see here we've had a clear run up, beautiful uptrend, created a daily squeeze, and we pushed into 52-week highs on Friday. And not only that, we're increasing volume. So I do like this one, and I think that we're going to probably see continuation to the upside. We broke out of this flag. We tapped that 52-week high. Now it's just once we get to 14, let's see if we can break from there, and then we can really get it going. But I love the strength on this one. And it broke out of this longer term, or it's working on breaking out of this longer term range. So I'm looking forward to do so. Yeah, you better be still in it. Increase volume on top of that. Increase volume past 2 days. So I'm thinking we're just going to continue our breakout from there. BAC. All right, these will be the last ones I'm going to do tonight. BAC. I wouldn't chase this one. I think it looks strong, but I just wouldn't chase it here. I think it's already made its move, and you should have been looking at it down here and look for an entry to take that long. But right now, I think a lot of the banks are too far gone. There's a few that have not broken out yet, and those are the ones I'd be paying attention to. But those also caution red flags. So I think the move in financials, like the really good entry point, you missed a bulk of the move. Like this one already had its run up, and I just think it was kind of missed. But DFS was one that came up tonight that looked pretty good. Still got a daily squeeze. Oops, it hasn't broken out yet, and 52-week high or all-time highs is very near. So this one actually looks good. So I'm going to add this one to my watch list. So I'm going to add that. DKS. All right, this is the last one. I'd wait for the next lower time frame squeeze and play it to the upside. I think it looks good. It's just it gapped up after earnings. So yeah, you can see these 30-minute squeezes have already been playing out to the upside there. And we're actually in one now. So I would look for this one to fire upside to play it to the upside and fill this gap. What about on or ON? What about it? For this one, it just looks like a break and retest of this here. And we've got a weekly squeeze. I think it looks like it's ready to break out, similar to Palantir. We break out of this level here at about $40. We've got a pretty clean push into 47 and then 55. But right now, I am currently looking for a breakout of this level here into 40. So looks like we had a little bit of break and retest after Nike earnings. Do I think about adding to my position? Yes, I do add to my positions, but I typically will not do that in the Discord because most people don't know how to do that. And I will do that. I usually do that on my own. Yes. I did that with DraftKings. So people don't particularly know how to manage their positions. So I like to keep it clean and simple. We entered on this day. And then once we had this pullback, we entered DraftKings on this day. We had this pullback here. And then once I saw that we got bought back up near the end of the day, this day, I added to my position a good bit more. I doubled the size. And then basically from there, we moved up and then it was 185% by the time we got here. I think it reached 200%. But Yep, I will be teaching how to manage positions in the mentorship. Yep, I will be doing that. There's a lot of different ways to go about it. You just got to find which one works best for you. So, okay, I got time for one more. Okay, G, this one, I think wait for the next lower time frame squeeze or daily squeeze. I think you kind of missed the boat on this one. It was a weekly squeeze here that fired off, and we've just been off to the races ever since. We're headed up into some pretty strong resistance here, or demand, or I guess supply, you would call it. And yeah. All right, guys. So thank you guys for coming. Let me know if you have any questions. You can message me in the chat. If you're interested in our Signals membership, we had probably 400% gains last week. I could be a little bit wrong on that number. But if you are interested in doing that, we've got the 7-day free trial. Okay, so we had 275% in Lyft, 185% in DraftKings, 80% ON. And yeah, so if you're interested in doing that, completely free to try it out. Cancel it if you don't like it. The link is in the Discord. And then, okay, last one. KO. Super choppy. It's a low beta name. I don't like to trade this one just because it's so low beta, meaning it moves so small relative to the indexes. So I do lean away from this name. It looks like, yeah, it's in a weekly squeeze. So if you want to play it, I would just wait for a signal on the daily time frame to potentially look for this weekly squeeze to fire off. All right. Thank you guys for coming. And I will see you for the markets tomorrow.